probably get blamed for that.
After Hours is a kinetic yet darkly comedic odyssey through a surreal, nocturnal Soho Manhattan, of which I had no idea was directed by Martin Scorsese. A lower-budget film meant to re-establish his footing after the lull he experienced coming off the monumental successes of Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. This movie is a surprising and fascinating proving ground for Scorsese's creativity outside his typical crime and masculinity. There's a specific cultural moment captured here, the yuppie, artsy, countercultural Soho Manhattan of the 80s. The film reflects the angst of its era. The 1980s were a time of cultural and economic shifts in New York City, and After Hours captures the energy and the chaos in this period. Soho was the hub for artists, bohemians, and the counterculture itself, which starkly contrasts the buttoned-up corporate world of our protagonist. We follow our yuppie word processor, Paul, as he embarks on a spontaneous late-night date with Marcy, only to find himself spiraling into a series of increasingly strange, hostile, bizarre encounters. The archetype of the hero's journey, as we know it, is flipped on its head. The story is Kafkaesque, the themes Kafka expressed in his works like that of absurdity, bureaucracy, existential dread, as Paul gets trapped in a seemingly endless, infinite cycle of absurd interactions, total misunderstandings, and escalating danger, unable to escape or find resolution. He is a bland, sterile, boring, passive nobody swept up in the chaos whose blankness serves as the canvas for the city and its eccentricities. Watching this film, you almost feel like time is elastic and stretched out. Is this night ever gonna end? What reinforces this are the tight, claustrophobic shots Scorsese employs alongside the disorienting, fragmented geography and landscape of Soho, where New York becomes more like an impossible-to-navigate, nightmarish labyrinth maze. This movie, despite being a dark comedy, holds incredibly important themes, particularly in today's world of urban alienation. Loneliness, isolation, and alienation are themes I feel carry a lot of weight in current society. Paul's night begins looking for connection after a casual romantic encounter, and by the end, he is more isolated than ever before. He's unable to genuinely connect with anyone he interacts with, highlighting the loneliness that permeates urban life. Many of his encounters are also with women and are charged with sexual tension. He has desires and boundaries, but he's confused and uncomfortable about both. He relies on women for guidance in his own journey. And the movie reveals how man's expectations of women as either saviors or villains is only damaging and reductive. And most simply, life is just random and unpredictable as hell. No matter how Paul tries to rectify a situation, random and uncontrollable external forces thwart his plans and efforts. The sense of control and the idea of even having it in the first place is fragile. The most minor choices you make can spiral into utter chaos. Seeking logic in chaos is futile. Is control just an illusion? That's scary. I don't know if this movie is supposed to criticize yuppie culture, yuppie entitlement, actually. He's a boring, uninteresting man who tries to break out of his boring, sterile corporate life. And what ensues only highlights how this type of person is inherently, fundamentally disconnected from the chaos, but more so the vibrance of the city. He loses his cab fare early in the film, and from there he is rendered powerless and vulnerable. He's lost in a city that seems to reject him. He is repeatedly emasculated and humiliated. He's shoved into an otherworldly purgatory, forcing him to examine and confront his own superficiality and passiveness. We bookend the story as the film ends with him being literally spit out right back into his sterile, boring office world, his monotonous, isolated life where he belongs, unchanged but scarred. This movie really shows exactly why it's nice to stay home on a Friday night instead of going out. One of my favorite comedies ever is The Big Lebowski, and I can easily see how this film influenced the Coen brothers and paved the way for that. Whether you interpret it as a cautionary tale about venturing out of one's comfort zone, a critique of urban alienation, or a downright surreal fever dream, After Hours stands as one of Martin Scorsese's most daring and inventive masterpieces. While this takes place in New York, living in Chicago all of my life, this movie to me captures the absurdities, the beauties, and the anxieties of urban life, while also offering a broader commentary on loneliness, human connection, and existential dread, which all exist in your life of urban paranoia, living in a big city. But there's also the enduring appeal lying in its ability to portray how even the most mundane can feel extraordinary, a fact of life we all learn as we go through it, where one bad night can be transformed into an unforgettable cinematic experience.